solving one problem but causing another one is the second scenario, if you see what I mean. The initial problem does not get solved while a new one arises as a result. It's known as the law of intended consequences. Now hear this. The Nigerian Medical Students Association has opposed the Medical and Dental Practitioners Act Amendment Bill 2022, which seeks to make it compulsory for graduates in medical and dental fields to render services within Nigeria for 5 years after graduation before, being granted a full license. Now, the bill has passed a second reading on the floor of the Green Chambers. The medical students, through their president, Ejim Egba, reacted by saying the proposed bill is unpatriotic, ill-timed, and constitutes a breach of the fundamental human rights of doctors, as enshrined in the 1999 Constitution as amended. Shall we have a conversation, BKO?
Yes, we are trying to fight fire with fire because this is a very big problem that we are facing as a country. But whether this strategy to quench this fire can work the answer is blowing in the wind. I doubt if any African country or third world country, for that matter, can solve this problem in the manner that the Nigerian lawmakers are trying to go about it. Economic migration is a right, and it's not limited to Nigeria.
Yeah, that's it.
Alone. There are more Pakistani doctors, more Indian doctors going to work abroad than even Nigerian doctors. So, but I know that it is particularly painful when you realize just how expensive it is to train doctors. And then shortly after graduation, some of them barely even practice for a year, they are off. The other day, they had that examination in Abuja that became an embarrassment. Some of the doctors saw their teachers, the professors who taught them in school, they saw them. They also came for the examination. It's like nobody wants to stay here. If very elderly people like that do not feel the need to stay here, then it's such a big problem. In 2015, just 233 Nigerian doctors moved to the UK. By 2016, the number had risen to 279. By 2017, it had moved to 475. In 2018, the figure rose to 852. In 2019, it jumped to 1,347. So you can see how it's rising. In 2020, the year of COVID, when in many countries they were not even hiring medical personnel, it came to 833.
Fled.
Yes, left our country. In 2021, 932 left our country. 2021. A total of 2,000 doctors left Nigeria in 2022. So what you can see from this is an incremental emigration of Nigerian doctors. It's been growing steadily from 233 in 2015 to 2,000 in 2022. So I know that is a matter for real concern, but I don't think that the way to solve the problem is to say, no, they must practice here for 5 years. I don't think. Yeah. When you come up with a law, you must first even ask yourself about how you can enforce it. I think even at UC the other day, they complained that so many doctors were leaving. So many. In 1 month, so many doctors left. They felt really threatened by that. So we there are so many things that we can do to address this problem, but I don't think that it's simply by compelling them to stay.
Yeah.
Let's improve the environment, the working environment. Let's make it possible for them to even get trained in the course of the work abroad. Let's bring the kind of equipment that they will feel proud to work with.
Yeah.
Let's just generally turn things around.
Majid, otherwise incentivize the discipline here. Let the practice, medical practice, be appealing, you know. And sometimes you're wondering if politicians indulge in histrionics for the fun of it.
So I wonder what House of Reps member Ganiu Johnson, APC Lagos, what he had in mind when he moved the amendment to that bill, the M379 Medical and Dental Association of Nigeria Amendment Bill. You see, as a member of the House of Reps, he earns about 13 million a month in salaries and emoluments. Now, a medical doctor who graduates from school in Nigeria, I think it's between 500
and 7.
Yeah, after housemanship, and the compulsory 1-year youth service.
Yeah,
that's about 8 years. 6 years in uni. That's the minimum, depending on which school you attend and ASU strike and what have you. And you do 1 year compulsory housemanship, then 1 year youth service. That's 8 years. After that, they start jobs. Of course, most of them don't have to really wait for. I think the salary is between 500 and 750,000 per month. The House of Rep member that wants to compel them to work in Nigeria for 5 years before they get a full certificate is any minimum of 13 million. That's aside from constituency allowances, empowerment, quote unquote, things that they do, that they get, and contracts, and as chairman, House Committee, or member of House Committee on one thing or the other, there are so many other benefits.
Yeah.
So now, for a doctor who seeks a greener pasture in UK, for example, the range is between £7,500 and £10,000 per month. That's between 7.5 million and 10 million per month. And you want to compel somebody to stay here. So that's why, that's how I respond to your giving incentives for them to stay. Maybe, in the first instance, rather than come up with that draconian amendment, maybe it should have urged the federal government to, the kind of remuneration that goes to those who work in the central bank, in the oil sector. Maybe we should extend it to
the medical profession.
The medical profession. Maybe start with 2 million for them, for example, per month, and let's see whether they will stay or not. Yeah. Because in actual fact, there was a study by Bloomberg a month ago that if your gross pay in America is $100,000 a month, your take-home pay actually will be about $36,000.
Taxes and all that.
Yes, taxes, several other bills that you pay.
Yeah.
But Nigerians are still willing to go there and take that 36,000. But they will tell you, yes, I'm 100.
Sweat it out.
And sweat it out. So, giving incentives to the medical production, of course, they save lives.
Yeah.
Giving incentives to the medical, more than anything else. Giving incentives to the medical profession is far, far better than coming up with this draconian amendment, forcing them to stay here for 5 years.
Citizen, let me
Okay.
Let me shock Nigerians by what I just saw. Between 2019 and 2022, Egyptian doctors, 11,500 of them,
Left the country
for
greener
pasture to work abroad. And this is 2023. They are disillusioned over low pay and difficult working conditions, and more of them are leaving.
That's Egypt.
Egypt, 11,500 between
Egypt of all countries.
2019 and 2022. Of course, that is way higher than even our own
Nigeria
situation, because we always think that, Nigeria, that is where the worst things happen. The figure from Egypt is way higher than what we have. And I know that many Nigerians even go to Egypt for Medicare. Yeah. Yet even the doctors there are not prepared to stay. So Egypt is looking at coming up with a kind of declare some form of emergency in the sector. Yeah. But this is not still going to solve the problem. If you can't pay what those people are offering, if you do not improve the working environment, people will not stay. You can't force them. They will risk their lives to get out of here.
Yeah.
So sorry, to add to that, in UK today, India has the highest number of doctors practicing in UK, followed by Pakistan. So, and anytime we want to do kidney transplants, we rush to India. And another thing is the fact that most of the hospitals you go to in UK, if there are 5 doctors there, at least one of them is a Nigerian.